All right, so here we are. I've got a long list of things to do, and I just got to start getting after them to get this car back on the track, you know, by the next event. I've got roughly a month, and I do have a day job, so I just got to try to, you know, again, get after this and utilize my time as best as possible. So number one, the engine bay. I want to clean all this for numerous reasons. I don't run the upper timing cover over here. I might actually add that back and run it. So first what I'm gonna do, I think, is just blow this down with a leaf blower and then just kind of just wipe everything down. Not that crucial, but it is crucial to me for numerous reasons, so we're just gonna get after that. All right, this is probably gonna be loud. I'm kind of holding the camera in one hand and the leaf blower in the other. Let's just sort of see here. All right, the rest of it's gonna have to just be wiped. It is what it is. All right, so I'm just gonna wipe the bay down. I'm just gonna use some McGuire's Detailer Last Touch Spray. I kind of did pretty decent when I've used it in the past. Just kind of spray, I'm gonna try to spray it almost on everything that I can see and just try to stay away from like soaking the distributor or anything like that. I'll just kind of hand wipe that. But yep, so let's just kind of get to wiping. All right, so the interior is also, it's just covered in sand. Does that affect me actually rebuilding anything on here? No, but I want the car roughly clean before I get, so I just get a clean environment and just start working. So I'm gonna vacuum that out, use the same spray detailer just to kind of clean some stuff off. And again, we'll go from there. And I don't know what the first project's gonna be on this car yet, but we'll see. Crazy. It's crazy just looking at a quick, freshly vacuumed floor to like the seats. The camera is not showing just how much sand is in this thing. It's like I was in the Baja 500 or something. All right, so the interior is roughly cleaned out. Didn't get anything super crazy. I'm probably gonna have to do it again. There's just so much sand, right? So it's kind of like do it once, do it twice, probably do it even a third time. But same thing with the engine bay. Not immaculate, but just a quick scuff over, you know, just clean real quick. I definitely know the rear subframe's got some more. There's some more I see down there on the mount. But it's good enough for at the moment. And again, I'll probably go through it a second and a third time. So the first thing I wanted to work on was these mounts. Probably can't tell, but these are the wing mounts that would go underneath the car. They went to the chassis and then came out with the uprights that went up. So they were bent. Everything else seemed okay. So I cut new plates, new gussets, everything for both sides. So I'm gonna weld it up now. I didn't show you guys how I did it. It was just gonna slow me down. But again, the wing video, I kind of show it. Basically everything's with a jigsaw. And yeah, so I'm gonna tack everything up, put the plates back on there, make sure those fit, then put the uprights up and basically install the wing and make sure that the wing is cool. If that's it, then the wing is out of the equation. That part is done. Well, there's that. I'm not gonna lie to you guys, I am not excited to be remaking these mounts. I just made them like a week and a half ago. But again, you gotta keep pushing through and just get to the track the next time. All right, so I put a bead back there. Gotta clean it off with some stitches, basically all around it. And then I'm gonna have that beam come up here that attaches to the frame of the car. All right, I'm trying to do these videos a little bit different, so that's why there's a lot more talking in this. And I am beat, I'm tired. They are there. They look roughly about the same as they were. I'm going to just basically gonna bolt the wing up now and just see how it looks. Again, I am tired. I can't say it again. I'm just being honest with you guys. I did not want to rebuild those things. I think I just did it 2 weeks ago. So let's get this thing bolted up here and let's see how this looks. Fingers crossed that it works out and we can say this project is essentially done besides painting. We can move on. All right, it's the next day. As I said, the splitter is done. Or not the splitter, the actual wing mount. So you can kind of see this mount I made, the gusset I made a little bit longer than last time. I still got to chop some stuff off. Like I made that one down there a little bit longer, but nonetheless, it's on, it's holding, and it's got the same amount of movement as it did before. And in the old video, or the last video on the track, you can see it held stable. So let's see how that goes. That being said, my wheels just came in. So scoured the internet, tons of input for wheel choices, but a lot of people that comment are running EGs, EKs, and so forth. So a lot of the offsets and fitments just don't fit this chassis, or they do, but they require a ton of massaging. I'm okay with rolling fenders. In fact, the rear is already rolled. I don't really want to pull them. It just is what it is. But so what I ended up going for is some 15x8s with a 35 offset. The only time I have ran anything this big was I ran 15x7 my K1s, which were actually a 35 offset, and I put a 5mm spacer on it at one point just to kind of test. And during an autocross, it did rub. So here they are. These are the 15x8s with a 35 offset. There's no wheels mounted yet. I just kind of wanted to throw it up there and see what it, you know, how it vibes with me. That being said, debating on the color change. Do I keep it this color? Do I not? Suspension's not loaded, but this is pretty friggin' close to the knuckle assembly, or the actual, you know, arm. But came with no hub-centric rings, I don't think. Basically just gonna open the rest of these and see what's in the boxes. So again, normally I don't do videos like I guess what I'm doing right now. Most of them are pretty much just how I did something and so forth. But this is gonna be a little bit different. This, I guess you can call it series. There's a lot of tape on this thing. But I guess you can put in the comments below, what do you think? Keep them this color, go black. I'm not really too sure yet. And the tires I ordered are the Falcon RT 660s. That's what I'm gonna go with. Some recommendations were to keep it essentially, you know, get off the 100s. Something that sounds like it's in that box. Get off the 100s and stick with 200s. 200 treadwear, that is. It should be a little more forgiving on the track, easier to learn with. There's nothing in that box. So that's what I'm gonna do. So I'm gonna open up the rest of these real quick and let's just see what else comes in the package, and I'll let you guys know, and maybe I'll just kind of put the wheels around here. As of right now, these suckers are gonna poke a little bit. They look like they're gonna look a bit more aggressive than what I had. So excited to see it. Really want the tires to come in so we can get a more of a full effect here. And I gotta just keep pushing and chopping stuff off this to-do list. All right, so the passenger side skirt is on. It is obviously unpainted. Got it pretty close to flush there. It goes along and maybe sticks out just a little bit. There's 16th or so. So we'll have to paint that. I had to fabricate all the new mounts. So coming over to the driver's side now, the mounts are there. They were, after the accident, these were kind of like all bent down. So I'm gonna see if I can maybe just sort of, you know, I don't know, tweak these, bend these, and just kind of keep the mounts, because the side skirt, if I got a picture of it, I'll show you, but the skirt itself is actually kind of just like, it was like this. The skirt itself just needs, you know, some sanding and some paint, but so I can just kind of bend these and see what happens. All right, so next project to be had. If you look, the actual exhaust, the muffler's pointing basically right at this cable here. And on the track, that caused an issue, which I didn't think it really would have, but what it was doing was it was heating up this black silicone, or like the actual rubber coating, and it was causing it to slip through the crimps. So now I've added 2 crimps to it now, and I crimped them a bit tighter, but just to alleviate that, I think what we're gonna do is actually come out and basically just do a turn down so nothing points at it. This is a thermal 3-inch. I don't really wanna, I guess, modify the thermal 3-inch, so what I'm gonna do is actually add a V-band. So I've already unbolted it, and so obviously if I want to go back and forth, I got this 3-bolt flange, changing gaskets, so I'm just going to add a V-band here and here, and I'm just going to make a whole new pipe section. It's basically just going to be a straight pipe, really is what it is, and the turbo will be the only muffler. So the car might sound a little more rowdy on the track. It's pretty quiet now. Not a huge ordeal, but we'll see where this goes. All right, so we did all that back. There's the thermal exhaust, and then this is essentially added a V-band here, just for ease's sake if I ever going to take it off again instead of fighting with the bolt, the 3-bolt flange. Kind of came up, it's still 3mm exhaust, the thermal, and then it goes into now basically just a pipe is what it is, for lack of better words. As you can see, it's just a pipe, which is where the muffler used to go. So what I'll do is I can just take this V-band off here, and then I'm gonna add a V-band to the muffler system, and I can just kind of put that right back in here. So added some stuff, and I'm basically gonna make a little pie cut, lobster cut, just a dump tube, just kind of just comes straight down. That way this won't actually interfere with the cable again at the track. And what's really cool about this piping is, I'll show you in a second, it's kind of a good thing and a bad thing that I've discovered, but some of the welds are, some are questionable, but it's gonna hold for what it is. All right, so the exhaust is on. Not gonna lie, the welds did not come out anywhere near what I liked. And I'm not blaming the piping or anything, but this is how the piping worked. So it essentially was kind of like slip fit stuff. All right, so some of the ends were flared out like that when you could put piping in, which made it really nice and easy to connect. But if you can see this, it was great overall. It just kind of gave me a fight on getting something to fit well, which caused me to kind of weld it a little rough. But again, you're not gonna see it. It's gonna hold for what it is. It's not like it's the actual exhaust manifold or anything like that. But it's on right now. I'll let it warm up, and we're gonna kind of rev it a little bit. This car is gonna be way louder now. But it's gonna be hard to actually get a real good sample still, because there's no load on it or anything. So you actually get the turbo spool and get, you know, the turbs noises out the back. But yeah, so next clip will probably be the last clip, and I'll get it from the back of the car. All right, so that's gonna be it for this video. Again, I don't know if I showed the mounts or not, but they are on. Same concept as what I built before, if you watched the previous video. And the driver's side, I was able just to kind of bend them and get the side skirt on with ease, really. It didn't take a ton of tweaking. The side skirt, yeah, it's scuffed up and whatnot, so it'll have to be repainted. Not a huge ordeal. The wing is on. You saw the exhaust clip. The car definitely, never really been one for just a straight pipe. I think it kind of sounds like trash. This might sound okay. I'll wait and judge until, you know, we get on the road and I get a better sound clip of it. But really kind of waiting on these tires. So I do like the way they look. I don't think I showed it, so I'll show you now. Follow the front fitment, right? So the back fitment, not anything totally crazy here, but it is pretty close. I think you can see it hitting the camber arm. Again, suspension isn't loaded. But then the other issue is going to be, you can kind of see, if you can get that there, it's pretty close to the rear trailing arm. So these are 15x8s plus 35s again. So I want to get the tires on it, but discount is just, I don't know, it is what it is. It's been a little over a week now, maybe almost a week and a half. I don't have tires yet. So the dilemma that I'm having now is debating on what really to do, right? So the mounts I got to paint, the side skirts I got to paint. Car still looks like that. Have not touched this door yet. I'm going to clean the engine bay. I've had a very small, like dime size leak for a long time. That only is when the car just sits after a bit, and it's from the turbo drain. I kind of want to put some thread tape on it, but I hate putting stuff that goes in the oil pan, and I can't see if anything goes in the oil pan. So order a new gasket. I'm going to drop that. I'll probably put it in another video. Seal those up, and then really, if I just get tires, I'm going to raise the car up a bit and just kind of see how she drives. Make sure everything's still good. And that should be it as far as that. So the dilemma lies, I think we've got like 2.5 weeks, and one of the weeks I'm just preoccupied, so I won't be able to touch the car at all. I don't know what to do as far as the body. I can roll out just like this. I can paint the stuff and then just roll out with a, you know, beat up door. The door closes, and what's crazy is it closes better than it ever has. So the dilemma really is, I don't want to paint this door and prep this door and then put it on the car only to take it off. People are probably going to, you know, throw comments at this, but I think what's going to be easiest for me to do is I'm going to paint the car in pieces. I just think I'll get a better paint job myself with my abilities. I think that's what will work for me. So I'm thinking of, like, you know, taking the doors off, taking the sunroof off, taking the bumpers off, fenders, hood, you know, whatever, and throwing just the body itself, you know, over, paint the rear quarters, paint the pillars and the roof, and then roll it back into the spot that it sits, or whatever the case is right now, and let it cure for a day or whatever. And then slowly, you know, hang my little paint booth area and do, say, the doors, and put the doors on the next day, and then do the fenders and the bumpers, you know, do it like that in pieces. So the conundrum is, I kind of don't want to paint this door and get it going and then like put it on the car only to take it back off again. But again, I don't know, I'm running out of time here a little bit. Maybe I'll just scuff the rear quarters and just start scuffing the car and do the event with a, you know, scuff car, because I'm not going to prime this whole thing. This door I'm definitely going to prime. I'm going to, you know, fix a couple little dings that are in it, prime it, paint it. But like the rear quarter and stuff like that, or let's say this fender, for instance, I'm not gonna prime this thing. I'm gonna take the trim pieces off, just gonna scuff it, you know, make it just so it's, you know, dull, and then essentially just reshoot it the same color. I might even just do this door entirely and just see how close the color match is, but I don't think it's gonna be that close. I did buy a whole gallon of the paint, which is probably more than it needs. And it should be easiest to mix it and do the whole shebang with it, to not worry about, you know, being different colors. I think I could pull that off. So yeah, I don't know, just debating on what to do with that, if that makes any sense. I'm all ears. I know I'm rambling, I just don't know what I should do. I mean, this part, I can probably, if it bothers me, this can, honestly, that'll probably just compound right off. Obviously there's some paint chip a little bit up here where I think the tire just hit and just, you know, rode across it. But somehow this trim is fine. I can probably just compound that off if it bothers me for the event, and then just wash the car. I still got to paint the front bumper. I mean, that took some hits, but ultimately too, I think I already showed up, but the Alumilite is here. I ordered Professional Awesome for a bazillion people's requests. I ordered their splitter mounts. I got a little longer rod, so I can just cut them. So the game plan for that is, I don't know where I'm going to tie them in exactly yet, but I'll have 2 rods coming out the front that are actually going to be attached to the chassis itself. And then I'll probably put a mount, you know, that kind of comes out like it did before, but I'll probably just put like I'll weld some angle to it or something to kind of mount into a spot over here on the side behind the fender that you can't see. So I'll have that, you can see I already kind of started draining the oil, but that over there, the 2 front splitter rods, and it should be pretty tight, you know, holding it up. The downfall with that is I got it a swinging deal. Really happy. Matt found it for me, a buddy. And I couldn't get 6 mil, which we're aiming for. It's 3 mil, which is gonna work. I bought a structural adhesive that seems to be pretty popular, and I'm just gonna glue the 2 pieces together. I'll put some weights on it, whatever, so it glues, and then once it's, you know, dry after a day, 24 hours, then I'll mount it up here and I'll cut it. I don't think the splitter's gonna take me as long as it would, but I mean, again, right? So the splitter's on, side switch on, just kind of paint those pieces, get tires. The car could hit the track again the way it is. It just looks, you know, kind of doo-doo. But it would still do its functionality, right? Again, got to still vacuum out and stuff like that, but I know some people are going to be like, oh man, just hit the car, so looks great. It does, I'm not upset, but it's kind of beat up and just kind of, obviously I don't enjoy seeing it that way. And I've got all the means and stuff to do, it's just a matter of time. Or maybe I'll hit the track like this, paint the pieces I need, wash it, hit the track like this, and then afterwards, I think the next track, I think we're done with the track season here, except for some random practice days here and there that I'd like to still attend, but then ASR down south still has 1 or 2 more events, which will be like a month, which would give me a solid month to, you know, not rush the car. So yeah, that's that. I know it's a lot of talking. Next video will probably be, oh, I'm gonna throw this in there before I forget. Note, here's the, right? Crazy. Let's go over to driver's side. Still has a wheel on it, but crazy, right? So I don't know. What's really ironic is most of the times that I trail brake and the car loses it is on left turns. That passenger brake or something is not nearly as good. I'm wondering if it's the brake, so as I'm trail braking, it just kind of locks that sooner than later. So we're going to have to address that. That could be something super interesting that I've never noticed, and obviously due to just, you know, a crappy situation, you might find some things. So that'll be in the next video. I'll address that, probably the splitter, maybe some painting and some stuff. And I don't know, man. I know this is super long-winded at this point, but I am all ears on what you guys think I should do with the painting. I know you're probably going to say put the door on here and then paint it just as an entirety, and maybe that's not the wrong idea. I don't know. Just looking at it, I just keep going back and forth in my head. So this is the end of it. If this video was better than others, let me know, because I know it's much different than how I normally do it. Again, a lot more talking. It is what it is again. So I appreciate everybody for watching. As usual, do throw comments down below. I'm really intrigued on what your thought process is on some of this stuff, and I'd love to just chat with you guys. So I'll see you guys for next video.